GM, it's Chris. And if you've been struggling in your entrepreneurial endeavor with limited time, meaning that you feel that you have so much work to do, you are so limited in time, it might be that you are in a 9 to 5 as well right now while you're trying to build your business on the side so you can escape the job cycle and do your own thing. Then listen up, because in this video I will talk about what I found worked for me the best once I transitioned from a job to being an online entrepreneur, and what has actually worked during the years and what you should do if you have limited time and you can't really squeeze out anymore. So listen up, this will be a very valuable video for all of the solopreneurs out there, right? So you can actually get some momentum in your life and progress and just grow. So this entire topic of this video was triggered by a past client that I had where I was working in kind of like a high ticket coaching environment with some online people, right? Just some context. So I was coaching this guy and he was stuck in a 9 to 5 and he was like super limited in time. I think he was living in Dubai at the time, working as an engineer. I am an engineer as well in the background before I transitioned into copywriting and creating funnels and designing, marketing strategies. By the way, shameless plug, if you need my help with all of this, then you will find a link below to work with me. Just putting it out there. But the thing with this guy is that he had a wife, he had a kid on the way. He was busting his ass on his job as an engineer and he barely had any time left. And, once he come home from the job, he would feel very much depleted on energy. You know, he didn't have any like brain calories left to add to his dream of one day escaping the 9 to 5 and just doing his own business and stuff. And, you know, jumping in and becoming an entrepreneur is quite a big jump because you are your own boss, right? You decide what you need to do on any given day. And if you have kind of like an old mindset of someone tells you what to do, or you're kind of like all over the place and you really haven't identified the key moving lever tasks you need to do every day in order to progress the business forward, then that is the first step. And the thing that have saved me so many times is to have a checklist, right? A daily checklist of what you do every single day that is aligned with the vision you have for the business or your endeavor, right? And then aligning what you do there to get there. It's the simple copywriting framework of you being in a current state and you have a desired state. And what are the steps you need to go through or your customers need to go through is the same application in order to get there, right? The problem that I see with people that I talk to is that one, they don't even have a daily checklist. That is the first big problem. You need to have a checklist in the morning where you know exactly what you're supposed to do. And, creating this checklist actually starts the day before you go to bed. It might be that you have the exact same tasks to do every single day, the key move lever tasks. Those just you refresh every day, right? You know what to do. It's for all of the other stuff that you add to this checklist. And the problem, if you have a checklist, is that it just keeps growing and piling on with stuff that you need to do for the business. You need to record that video, and you need to create that landing page, you need to rewrite that copy, you need to have that strategy in place, you need to hire this guy or that freelancer, blah, blah, blah. And it just piles on and on and on and on. But I urge you to really think about, if you have a checklist and you have daily tasks, like what are the key moving levers that you need to pull on for this business to get asymmetrical gains. I have another video on asymmetric gains that you can check out, which is a little bit the same topic, but in a different angle. But for this, the checklist. So for me, for example, I know that there are two things I need to do every single day without fail to move my business forward. One is to create these videos that I'm doing right now, this content piece, content. So you wake up, you do your morning coffee, and you create your content, right? To help people, inspire people, show your value, show that you know stuff, and that you have a service that you can offer for help, right? That is one. The next for me is outreach. So it's just those two things. And the main key moving levers for any business is to make an income, is to grow the revenue. So my daily task is geared and centered around those two tasks. It's essentially content creation for my message to go out to a lot of people, and then they come to me if they need my help. And outreach is the same thing. It's a marketing message that goes out, but it's more laser focused one-on-one to people. Both are there designed to acquire clients essentially. And if you watch any other YouTube video in marketing, in sales that is not entertainment, believe me that everyone who is doing some kind of content is doing that for their business. It's not a problem at all. It's just a value exchange, right? We are pouring our time and effort into a video. You get some insights and value. And if you believe that this person can help you, then you take the next step. That's just how business works, and it's a value exchange, right? But if you have a checklist and a daily task list and you are just so pushed and limited on time, then are you really doing the tasks that moves the business forward? I will argue you are not. It's the same principle that applies to everything in life, which is the 80-20 Pareto principle. You've probably heard about it. It's beaten to death, but let me just refresh your memory a bit. So if you look in nature, if you look at any type of correlation between stuff, you will find that probably 20% of this stuff gives 80% of the results, meaning that probably if you look at any YouTube channel, right, from any creator, they will have probably 20% of the videos driving 80% of the views. Is the same for all the tasks that you do every day. Most likely you have 1, 2, max 3 things to do on any single given day for your business, for that to get you asymmetrical gains, for it to grow, for it to progress. So finding and defining what those tasks and levers are is your main key task right now. So if you have a task list and a checklist that has 8, 10, 12 items, probably the 80-20 Pareto principle should tell us that most likely 2, 3, 4 things max is the things you need to do in order to get the gains, right? It's the same with service delivery. There are probably a bunch of different stuff that you do for clients, or you do as a service, or you provide people as an entrepreneur. But ask yourself, like, okay, of all of those things that you do for someone, what actually gives them the most return or the most value versus your time? I will argue for myself, at least, when I work with perhaps local clients, is creating a good offer. If you want to know how to create a good intro offer, then watch my other video. I will link it here somewhere. Then it's essentially having a sales process and conversion process, and then driving traffic to that. And that's essentially all they need in order to make a bunch of money and sell their service until they're fully booked. That's the case I've seen, at least. But it's the same with online business as well. It's content creation, perhaps outreach. Maybe people don't really want to do outreach, but it's getting traffic and then talking to people in order to convey your value, sell your stuff. And if you are not doing any of those things currently, then know that you're probably not doing what you're supposed to do in your business. And that's probably why you don't see the results that you have been yearning for. And I've had to reflect this on myself. I'm just not talking from a high horse here. Like, there's been so many times during the years that I've just like, why am I not seeing results? Why do I not get clients? Why can't like, what's happening here? Well, yeah, you either didn't create content so people know that you exist, or you haven't talked to enough people for people to actually be able to give you money, right? In exchange for your service, for your value, for your knowledge. So if you are on a daily basis not marketing your stuff, And marketing is not a scammy thing. Marketing is just letting people know, hey, I exist. Two, I have some valuable stuff. Do you want it? Would you like it? And then people can vote with their money, yes or no. That's all marketing really is. It's not scammy, it's not salesy. It's just like, hey, I have something here. Will you like it? Hey, I exist on this planet. Like, you can have the absolute best product in the world, like the absolute most immaculate best online course in the world, but if no one knows that you have it, how on earth are will they be able to pay you for it and get the value, right? It's like if they create Lamborghinis and they are the absolute best beast cars in the world. I'm not saying it is, but no one knows that there is a Lamborghini shop in town, right? So you need marketing for your business. So back to the checklist, which was the initial thing. And if you have limited time, you need to have a solid checklist and the key moving lever tasks. So the 20% of stuff that you need to do to get 80% of the gains. Now, if you have a job, if you are stuck, what do you do? Well, this is where energy management comes into place, right? So this is kind of like a more of a productivity focused video now, but hear me out. So if you come home from the job, you have all of the responsibilities, you have the family to take care of, you have the kids to feed and play with, and they need to see dad, right? Well, you can't really put the most key lever tasks to do in your business at the end of the day. Doesn't make sense. You don't have that brain capacity and energy to put into it. So you are essentially forced to do this work fresh when you wake up, when you have maxed out your energy, when you have maxed out your capability to produce some kind of value, and you do that before you go to work. That's what essentially what I had to do back in the day when I was an engineer and I had to go to a job. So I had to wake up way earlier before the job, do the actual work. Once I had the most energy, I was the freshest in my mind, put that time in there. And from there, the rest of the day and the evening was just maintenance work and polishing stuff up, publishing stuff, sending those emails, stuff like that. But the actual core key thing that you needed to do in the morning was happening in the morning. That's essentially the same reason why I have a video right now in the morning with my morning coffee is the most key leverage moving tasks, that is the most return on my time, that I do first thing in the morning. So you should probably, from speaking from experience, just do it yourself, right? All right. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys like this video, I can just create more about, managing your energy, your time, your tasks, and having focus, getting into a flow state to do your work and focusing on the key tasks, not being distracted. I know a lot of that stuff, been through all of that myself throughout my years. So I have some good tips and tricks. So leave a comment below if this is something you want me to create more of, so I know, otherwise I won't. Anyways, speak to you in the next video and see you soon. Bye bye.